All right, let's dive into a place that is so dangerous, it's been literally sealed off from the rest of the world for 100 years. We're talking about a tiny little island just off the coast of Brazil, and it holds a pretty deadly secret. Today, we're going to uncover the truth behind the legendary Snake Island.
So the official name is Ilha da Queimada Grande, but you probably know it as Snake Island. And believe me, it's so deadly that for the last century, regular people like you and me have been completely banned. You can't just go there. The Brazilian Navy actually patrols the waters around it, and for a very good reason. So what exactly gives this island its, terrifying reputation? Well, to really get it, you've got to meet its most famous and most feared resident.
Okay, meet the Golden Lancehead Viper. Now, this snake exists nowhere else on the entire planet, only on this one island. And its venom, wow, it is uniquely potent. We're talking 5 times stronger than its cousins back on the mainland. And why? Well, it evolved to hunt birds, so it needed to kill them instantly before they could, just fly away. And it's that incredibly fast-acting venom that turned this beautiful island into a horrifying legend.
But here's where things get really interesting. A total paradox. The Golden Lancehead's venom, it can kill a human in less than 90 minutes. But that exact same venom is also the key ingredient for creating the life-saving anti-venom. So you have this one animal that is both a deadly killer and a potential lifesaver. And of course, that dual nature makes it super valuable and a huge target for smugglers on the black market.
And the island's dark history is what really cemented its forbidden status. I mean, the most famous story, the one everyone tells, is about the last lighthouse keeper and his family. The legend goes that one night, the Vipers actually slithered into their house right through the windows and killed them all. After a tragedy like that, and as scientists got more and more interested in these unique snakes, the Brazilian government just said that's it. They sealed the island off from the public for good. So you're probably thinking, if it's impossible to visit, how are we even talking about this? How did this trip even happen? Well, like a lot of crazy modern adventures, it all started with a totally unexpected phone call.
Just imagine getting a call like this. It's MrBeast, and he's filming in what he considers the 5 deadliest places on Earth. And guess what's number 1 on his list? Yep, Snake Island. He needed a travel expert, like right now, on super short notice. And just like that, the impossible trip was actually happening.
Okay, so after a 12-hour flight and then a long boat ride, the crew finally arrives. They are geared up head to toe, shin guards, gloves, you name it, and they've got a whole lot of nerves. But the island's first impression is, well, not what anyone expected. Yeah, this was the vibe after hours and hours of searching. I mean, the legend says you can't walk 2 feet without practically stepping on a viper, right? But the reality? Nothing. Zilch. They found some old, shed snakeskin, a few bugs, and this growing feeling of, wait a minute, is this whole thing a hoax? You can almost feel them thinking it, right? We're on the world's deadliest island, and the most dangerous thing so far has been the humidity. You start to wonder, did the internet just make all of this up? And right as they start to seriously question the entire legend, bam, reality hits. In this totally heart-pounding moment, they spot their first golden lancehead, and it's coiled up in the branches right next to their faces. All of a sudden, that quiet, kind of boring island felt very, very different. And that one encounter, it just instantly shifted the whole vibe of the trip. It went from being this, survival challenge to something much more important, a critical scientific mission. Because this was never just about spotting some snakes. It was about understanding why they matter so much. And just look at this chart. This is pretty staggering. It shows that the entire lancehead family of snakes, which includes our golden lancehead, is responsible for 90%, 90, of all the venomous snake bites in a country as huge as Brazil. And that is exactly why the research being done here is so, so vital. So it's really important to get this. Every time they catch a snake, it's not for sport. It's a super careful, methodical, scientific procedure. The scientists who have the special permission to be here, they carefully secure the snake, they take just a little bit of venom for their research, they implant a tiny microchip so they can track its health and movement, and then they release it completely unharmed, right back where they found it. Okay, so after a full 24 hours of exploring and, yes, even sleeping in tents on the island, which is just wild, the crew's experience started to paint a picture that was just completely different from all those terrifying legends they'd been told. And this comparison really gets to the heart of what they discovered. On one hand, you have the myth, the internet version, which is basically a nonstop horror movie. But then you have the reality, which is this unique, protected ecosystem where the snakes are actually really hard to find, and the work being done is about saving human lives, not ending them.
I mean, this quote from the lead biologist on the trip, it just says it all. This is a guy who's been to the island more than 15 times. He knows the risks better than anyone on the planet. And yet, he says he feels safer here, surrounded by these vipers, than he does in a big city like Sao Paulo. That just goes to show you that, for the experts, the danger here is a known quantity. It's manageable.
So, the big question. After 24 hours on the quote-unquote deadliest island on Earth, what was the final count? Out of the supposed thousands of snakes, how many did they actually see? The grand total was 3. Just 3 snakes. It's such a huge, powerful contrast to the myth of an island that's just crawling with them everywhere you look. And in the end, this whole journey to Snake Island is a great reminder, isn't it? That behind almost every terrifying legend, there's usually a much more complex and, honestly, a way more fascinating truth just waiting to be found. It really makes you wonder, what other impossible places out there are not at all what they seem?